Devil's Night is a bigger deal than Halloween on campus. In case you don't know, Devil's Night is the night before Halloween, October 30th. It's the day kids play pre-Halloween pranks. For example, covering their neighbors' yards in toilet paper or turning everything upside down in their teacher's classroom. At our college, Devil's Night marks the wildest Kappa Sig party of the year. Tickets are incredibly sought after and not available to buy. You have to be invited. As a freshman from a poor background, I never expected to be on the guest list. Damon Van Ark runs the Kappa Sig fraternity. Think of the stereotypical spoiled rich kid, and that's him. His family owned the Kappa Sig mansion, and all the frat members come from families almost as wealthy and influential, but not quite. I think that last part is important to the Van Arks. I recognize Damon and some of the other frat members like Zach Drake and Tom York when I see them around campus, but I don't know them personally and they don't know me. We've never exchanged a single word. So to say I'm surprised when an invite addressed to me slides under the door is an understatement. "This means I'm your +1, my roommate Sutton squeals. I nod, still trying to make sense of it. I briefly wonder if it's a joke, but this seems unlikely. I'm not popular by any means. But I'm no longer the class freak I was in high school. I go about my business largely unnoticed. It doesn't make sense that I'd be on Kappa Sig's radar for any reason at all. It's becoming obvious that I have to go to the party because of Sutton's excitement. She isn't invited in her own right. Roommates get an automatic +1, but I'm not sure she can go if I don't. And then there's the situation with my scholarship. I got into the university on a sporting scholarship as a long-distance runner. But last month, a dog knocked me off my bike and my injuries have left me unable to train at a high enough level for the foreseeable future. I spent my entire childhood dreaming of leaving my narcissistic mother, and my life here is everything I hoped it would be. I love Sutton and my new psychology major, but without my scholarship, I can't afford to stay. Apparently, there's a game at the party and the winner gets $100,000. I know it sounds far-fetched, but Damon giving me $100,000 is like me giving you a cent. So it's possible the rumors are true. The game is supposedly dangerous. People say a girl nearly drowned last year. I'm a strong swimmer, and if it means I don't have to leave, then surely it's worth the risk. Even if I drown, at least I won't be returning to my mother. Sutton Skypes our friend Gordo with the news. He's from a dime store background like me, but his creepy roommate's mom is a close friend of frat boy Zach's aunt or something, so he's on the list. Gordo thinks the whole thing is ridiculous, but wants to go, for the lulz. When Devil's Night rolls around, we spend most of the afternoon getting ready. Sutton lends me one of her designer dresses so I don't have to feel self-conscious in my target number. I'm not usually ashamed of my background. I might not get on with my mother, but there's nothing wrong with our lifestyle. My father was an honest and hardworking man before he died falling from scaffolding. But it's difficult not to feel inferior knowing everyone else going to the party has a prestigious last name and automatic wealth. The college admissions are biased towards the privileged, so I sometimes feel like an alien on a strange planet around campus. But there's no major shortage of people like me. There will be at this damn party. I wouldn't be going if not for Sutton and the scholarship debacle. We totter to Gordo's dorm in our impractical heels. Why do people wear these? I can already feel my injured leg aching in protest. I'm relieved when we get there, but we still have to walk to the frat house, and that's further than the distance between our dorms. "Aren't you ready, Mike?" I asked Gordo's roommate, noticing his food-stained sweats. "It's Michael, and I'm not going. Anyone who would risk their life for money deserves to lose it, in my opinion." "You don't have to play the game to go to the party," Sutton points out, although she doesn't sound keen for Michael to join us. I hate to be judgmental, but he is weird. Gordo once woke up in the night to find Michael standing over his bed, staring down at him. "I'm busy," he snaps. "Yeah, that looks pressing," I mutter. He's seemingly just staring at an ant farm. "Shall we go then?" Gordo says. He scrubs up well in a suit, but as much as I hate to admit it, Damon is more my type. Gordo is like a brother. We decide to get an Uber. It pulls up in front of a water fountain bigger than my dorm room. I've seen the Kappa Sig mansion on Instagram, but the scale of it in real life shocks me. It looks like a hotel for the rich and famous. "About this game," Gordo says as we walk up the driveway, "I get you need the money in that, but Don't do anything too crazy. A girl nearly drowned last year. Is that definite, though, or just a rumor? I was hoping you guys would enter to boost my chances. We'll split the money, of course. I'm in, Sutton chirps. She takes my hand as we walk up the steps and give our names to the beefy security men. We have to show photo ID, and I brought the invite for good measure. It seems Gordo can get in without Michael, so Sutton could have gone without me. The ballroom is packed with frat boys in tuxedos and girls so glamorous they don't seem real. I can't help feeling embarrassed by my own hair and makeup in their presence. I thought I looked pretty before we got here, but now I'm full of self-doubt. Hey, you look great, Gordo says, reading my mind. He's always doing that. Sutton grabs us drinks, and after a few glasses, I'm able to dance and have a good time like a normal person. I'm even disappointed when the music stops and the band gets off stage. Damon takes the lead singer's place at the microphone. There's something about dark hair with blue eyes, Sutton mutters. You don't have to tell me, I replied. Hey, is that Michael? I add, spotting someone that looks like him from across the room. I'm fairly sure it's him, but he's swapped the stained sweats for a tux, and he said he wasn't coming. Welcome to Devil's Night, Damon booms. The crowd applauds like he's just won an Oscar. Gordo rolls his eyes. I know what you're all waiting for, Damon continues. So let me tell you about this year's game. The crowd erupts again. When they calm down, he explains the rules. Anyone brave or stupid enough to take part is to stand behind me on stage. Not yet, Zach. I will hand out brownies made fresh this afternoon by our lovely chef. Each player takes one piece per turn. Most of them are perfectly good brownies, but one is poisoned. The poor soul that eats the deadly piece will die instantly. Of course, you don't have to eat anything. Anyone can leave the stage at any time, but you'll be out of the game. The last man standing wins $250,000. The crowd crescendos as people discuss the increased prize money and the possibility of dying. He can't really poison someone, he'd go to prison, Sutton says, almost shouting to be heard. He's a rich white male with daddy's lawyers and moronic friends to back up whatever he says. He'd get away with it, and he knows it, Gordo rants. That said, I don't think there is any poison. It's a game of nerve. All players have 30 seconds to get on stage, Damon yells. People start shoving to get through the crowd. Gordo tries to hold me back, but I pull my arm from his grasp. I stand between Zach and Sutton on stage. The security men remove wannabe players that didn't make it on time but refuse to return to the audience. At a guess, there's between 40 and 50 players on stage. I'm surprised to see Michael among us. It's definitely him, but he's too far down the line for me to question him about his change of heart. If you don't eat a piece of brownie within 30 seconds of me offering you the plate, you're out, Damon says, cutting across all conversation. The room falls silent. A plate full of stacked bite-sized brownie squares is offered to the first player, a frat boy whose name I don't know. He takes a square, but puts it back and leaves the stage. The crowd laughs and boos. The next three players also don't eat. These people know Damon, and they obviously think there is poison, Sutton whispers. She sounds frightened. The next player eats. The crowd cheers. The game continues with people eating or refusing, and before I know it, Damon is offering the plate to Zach. He eats a square with no hesitation. The crowd goes wild. Miss Carrie White, Damon says with a wink, holding the plate out to me. I take a square. My eyes meet Gordo's and he shakes his head, but I eat the brownie anyway. It tastes normal, if not slightly too rich. Sutton almost runs out of time, but swallows at the last second. With the number of brownies on the plate diminishing, more people decide not to eat. Michael chickens out. 20 people go through to round 2. There are 5 of us in round 3, including me and Zach, but not Sutton. There aren't many brownies left on the plate. This makes me think Gordo was right about there being no poison, but it also makes sense for the poisoned one to be at the bottom to avoid the game ending too soon. 2 players quit in round 3, leaving 3 people and 3 brownies. Round 4 commences and the first guy quits. If Zach doesn't go, do I still have to eat? I ask. Nope, you'll be the last one standing, Damon answers. What? That's not fair. Why is she after me in the order? Zach whines. People stood where they stood. But we should have been told or ordered in a fair way. I tell him people nearer the front had the advantage of probability. He looks at me blankly. Because there are more brownies at the beginning, so the chances of getting the poisoned one are slimmer, I explain. That's your 30 seconds up, Damon says nonchalantly. Zach's face turns red and he looks like he's going to explode. I didn't realize my go had started, he rages. I was holding out the damn plate and you were next. What did you want me to do? Damon snaps. Tell me it was my go. Nobody else was told it was their turn every time. It's common sense. Zach looks close to boiling over, so a couple of security guys drag him off stage as he struggles and curses. The crowd suddenly cheers louder than they have all night, which is saying something, and it hits home that I've won. I won. I don't have to leave college. Sutton runs on stage to hug me, and even Gordo is smiling. A group of frat boys lift me onto their shoulders. They put me down in front of Damon, who hands me a check for $250,000. I can hardly believe it, but the check looks genuine. I go home to my dorm in high spirits, but there's a niggling worry that the check won't clear. I don't feel great about taking money, but what Damon won't miss will change my life. I won that game fair and brownie square. I go to bed with my makeup on, delirious and exhausted. I wake in the early morning to Sutton vomiting. My shackles are up because she wasn't drunk when we got home last night. I turn on my bedside lamp. She's covered in sweat and looks feverish. She staggers to the bathroom before I can ask if she's all right, though that would have been a stupid question. I notice blood in her vomit. Sutton? I call at the bathroom door. She doesn't reply. Thankfully, the door isn't locked. I open it to find her passed out. I put her in the recovery position so she doesn't choke if she throws up again, then call 911. The paramedics aren't sure what's wrong. They seem anxious to get her to the hospital. I go with them, wondering how to call her parents. Her phone is password protected and I don't have their number. I'm surprised to find Damon in the hospital waiting room. Hi, I mumble. Thank God you're okay. I was going to check on you as soon as someone bothers to tell me how Tom's doing. Why wouldn't I be okay? I ask in confusion. Zach's dead and some of the others that played the game are sick. I don't understand. One piece contained laxatives, but nothing serious. So, there was no poison? No, or there wasn't supposed to be. Who invited me to the party? I don't know why I ask this. It doesn't seem important now. I should have said I'm sorry about Zach. I did, he replies. Why? Do you need poor people desperate for the money to play your stupid game? He looks hurt. No, I just wanted you to come. I don't know your background. I'm not sure the last part is true, but I changed the subject. Did a girl almost drown last year? The challenge was to hold your breath with your head held under in a barrel of water. It was Zach's idea. There was a hand signal if you wanted to be let up. People were supposed to make the signal if they were struggling. That's why we went for something tamer this year. Time passes in a blur. Sutton and Tom survive. The college are able to contact Sutton's parents. They thank me for calling the ambulance. I feel awful that they seem to think I saved her life, when in reality it's my fault she was at that party and I encouraged her to play the game. Myself and everyone else that ate the brownies but aren't unwell are brought in for tests and observation. I experienced mild poisoning 5 days after the party, but with early treatment, it's nothing compared to what Sutton and Tom went through. It's discovered the brownies were laced with ricin. The current death toll is 6. The doctors don't think it was mixed through the batch evenly, suggesting whoever spiked the mixture was in a hurry. Damon and the entire Kappa Sig household are questioned extensively, including the staff, but the detectives don't find the person responsible. I've given up on the culprit being punished when Gordo calls. It was Michael. He poisoned the brownies, he tells me. I'm too stunned to speak. I found the ricin. He tried to flush it down the toilet, but it didn't go, and the moron didn't notice or wait to check. I saw it when I went to brush my teeth. I can't believe it, I say. I know he was weird, but I never expected him to do anything like this. Remember what he said before the party? Gordo asks. Anyone who risks their life for money deserves to lose it. The mood on campus is demure, but people seem happier in the lead up to Christmas. There's a vigil for those that died on the last day before we break for the holidays. Sutton's parents travel to attend. They invite me to spend Christmas with them when they find out about my plans to stay on campus alone. I agree after they assure me repeatedly it's no bother. And their kindness gives me hope that next year will bring better things.